This is one of the schools with the most severe storm damage. I mean, you can see behind me that debris is scattered everywhere, and even some of the windows are boarded up because glass was broken into. This mural is a depiction of Nelson Hackett, who escaped slavery in Fayetteville. But on this wall, there are many faces of the community, including ones who have been here for generations. Because like you guys said, I'm from Texas, and I have never seen this much snow, nor have I ever sledded before. So now we're gonna race. I told him not to take it easy, because I like to win. So we're about to race and see really sledding champ. Okay, we're going face forward because we like to take a risk. Okay, you ready, Sergio? 3, 2, 1. UAMS partners with a number of community organizations, including the Squire Center. So far, they've already put in these food lockers. And in here, people can get healthy food whenever they can. Darren Billy Jack Links was first on police radar 12 weeks after Morgan disappeared in 1995. He became a person of interest at that time after being arrested for sexual solicitation of a child. I'm out here on I-49 in Rogers, and so far what we're seeing is that snow accumulation is picking up, and honestly, there's been a lot more people on the roads than we were expecting. Here at home, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is getting ahead of the storm by declaring a state of emergency in anticipation of winter weather. A teacher at Northside High School in Fort Smith is now on administrative leave after controversy sparked surrounding a test question the school district says was inappropriate and offensive. Tonight at 6, a push for more safety at a busy Fort Smith intersection. The city is installing new traffic signs to protect drivers as they work to make transportation safer. Proposed for a 3,000-bed state prison. This comes after the $750 million bill to fund the prison failed for a fourth time today. Also new tonight, we're learning about an eye doctor in Rogers being sued by one of his former patients over allegations of sexual assault. Because I'm kind of cheap, I kind of wait and see if there's like some rain coming to wash the car for me, but since you're saying probably not likely, then I'm just gonna go pay for it. But I tried to save my little $25, but I guess I gotta spend it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do that probably tomorrow because I looked at my car and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's gross. I can't even see out my windshield right now, but it's fine. Oh well. I just love how you get straight to the point.
Yeah.
Like
he's just like, that's it.
He's like, this. That's what you need to know. That's it. Like nothing, no repeat or nothing.
He does his job and he does it well.
Yeah, we like that. You're very unique. Keep it up. I mean, nowadays they get snow days like it's nothing.
Oh yeah.
Let's say back in the day.
Those were hard to come by when
back
I was
in the day,
school.
you literally had to watch for your school like it was the NFL draft.
Yes.
Waiting to see, is it Mesquite ISD? No, it's not. No, it's not. You're going to school. But I'm glad that they get, the snow days. Yeah, good for them.
I was homeschooled, so every day was not a snow day.
Oh, that's awful. I'm sorry. All right, well, good night, you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
We don't want them to be deported. They're mostly sole providers of their family members.
The Arkansas Coalition of Marshallese reports in the last 3 weeks, dozens of Marshallese people in Northwest Arkansas have been detained by ICE.
For us, like if there is folks that are being repeated offenders and are not abiding by the law, those are the individuals that they should be sent home.
With more and more Marshallese families being separated, those left behind are turning to the coalition for help.
Today alone, I've had 7 different phone calls of family members. One of them wanted to know where their loved one was. So luckily I was able to locate him, and now it's just a matter of having that individual reach out to their families and just let them know how they're doing.
Stephanie Takamaru with ACOM says they've been connecting families facing legal battles with attorneys. A big question for the Marshallese community is,
where does it stop with misdemeanor charges?
Sheriff Jay Cantrell says Washington County has taken part in the State Criminal Alien Assistance, or SCAP program for 15 years. The sheriff's office submits the names of people who meet the criteria for detainment to the Bureau of Justice Assistance, according to Cantrell, not directly to ICE.
So we collect that data, we submit it, but usually it's a year or 2, sometimes it's even 3 years behind.
The criteria for SCAP is you'd have to be a non-U.S. citizen convicted of 2 criminal misdemeanors or a felony, and you'd have to spend at least 4 consecutive days in the Washington County Jail.
SCAP has nothing to do with deporting anyone or going out and doing a roundup to find people that are illegal. It's only people that have come to jail and met that criteria in the grant reporting period.
The program is voluntary, but the Washington County Sheriff's Office receives money for its participation.
We call it a grant, but it's actually a reimbursement. We don't know from year to year what that reimbursement amount will be.
Sheriff Cantrell says the money goes to help cover the cost to operate the jail.
But I think we owe it to the taxpayers to find those opportunities and to get that reimbursement, and to, it can only be used for correctional purposes.
Cantrell does not believe Marshallese people are being targeted.
We're happy they're here. They're providing us service. They're working. They're raising their families here, trying to build a better life. Don't fault them at all for that, but there are rules and there are laws, and as long as those are adhered to, then they're likely not to be encountered by law enforcement.
In Washington County, covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News. In 2021, foster mom Kayla Daniels opened her home to 8-month-old twin boys, Caden and Jaden.
I took them in October, and then their brother, which at the time I didn't know they had a brother, he came in November.
Today, Caden and Jaden are 3 years old, and their oldest brother, MJ, short for Maverick Jace, is 4. But their nicknames are unique.
Obviously, MJ is short for Maverick Jace. And with these 2 little boys, and I'm like, I don't even know how to tell these twins apart. And so one of them was this little bitty slim thing, and the other one was just so chunky. And so we started calling them Slim and Chunk. And it's just kind of stuck.
In the foster care system, the goal is to eventually reunite the children with their biological family, and Daniels only plan to foster the siblings for 2 weeks.
I had this just dream in my head that I was like, okay, I'm gonna foster all these kids, and I'm gonna help them get back to their families, and it's gonna be great. But obviously God just had such a different plan for my life, and so we started fostering them. When we got to talks about them potentially being adopted, then my house moved to a foster adoptive home. And then once, parents' rights were terminated, then I became an adoptive home.
County Coordinator Brandy Shiyoyama with the call in Benton County says right now there are only 100 foster homes in Northwest Arkansas. And as children are separated from their families, they're also torn apart from each other.
Siblings together, being placed together, is always a priority for the state. Unfortunately, because of the same things I just mentioned, there not being enough homes with space, they often get split up.
But that wasn't the case for Daniels. She made it a priority to keep them together. She calls them her sunshines, brightening her life in ways she didn't expect.
They are the light of my life. They are my greatest accomplishment yet. Like, when I think about all the things that I've done in life, by far, they are the cherry on top. They are just amazing kids with funny personalities, and they keep me running and laughing and going.
It took 935 days to make the adoptions official, and because of that, April 30th is a day that will remain close to her heart.
But it was just an emotional filled day because it had just been so long. It was just so much joy for me, and so just replaying every moment and all the visits and everything, just being grateful that it was all worth it and that we were finally able to be a family.
On the outside looking in, you may think Daniels is raising this inseparable trio alone, but she has a village supporting her through motherhood.
My parents, my friends that have become family, they have been the rock of all of this, and the reason why I can do the things that I do, and the reason that I parent the way I parent, and how our story has been such a success.
While Slim, Chunk, and MJ found their forever home, Daniel says she knows one day the boys will want to know their biological mom and has no problem opening that door.
I told her, I was like, when you are at your healthiest place and in a good place in your life, I want them to know who you are, and I want them to be able to meet you because, we both play some part of the reason they're here. And so I'm just overjoyed, and I'm just happy, and, I hope that one day our story ends with all of us in the same room, just watching these kids grow up together.
In Benton County, covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News. Meet 2-year-old Harrison Northington. Like any other toddler, Harrison loves to play and be active. But just like 33 million other Americans, Harrison's parents have had to keep a close eye on what they feed him.
He had the allergic reaction to peanuts first, and it was a full body hives.
Harrison was only 8 months old when he had that allergic reaction to peanuts, so Harrison's parents took him to the doctor, which led to skin testing to find out what else he could be allergic to.
We found out that he was allergic to dairy, which was weird because he had had yogurt and was fine. Like, he had yogurt probably daily and never had a reaction. We found out he was allergic to eggs, which we had given him eggs probably 6 or 7 times.
But on the 8th time,
we were at a restaurant and he had like just scrambled eggs at breakfast, and he broke out in a rash like around his mouth. So that was kind of just wild because it was just random.
Harrison's mom, Peyton Northington, says around his 2nd birthday, he outgrew dairy and peanut allergies, but he's still intolerant when it comes to ingredients in eggs.
Eggs is pretty hard. He can have baked eggs, so he can have anything that's baked, like a muffin, cake, cookies, waffles, pancakes, if we cook them for a long amount of time. He cannot have any dressing like ranch, mayonnaise. A lot of sauces have mayonnaise in them, so an egg base, he can't have any of that.
Dr. Lance Faddis with Mercy Hospital says the most common food allergens are cow's milk, nuts, tree nuts, peanuts, and then eggs. But for children who have an allergy within the first 2 years of life, half of them will outgrow it later on.
If you're talking about milk and eggs, there's quite a few of those kids that will develop a tolerance to that later on in life, by the time they're an adolescent, certainly. If you're thinking about nuts, tree nuts, peanuts, about 20 to 30% of people who have that allergy will develop a tolerance at some point in their life.
But as new parents, the journey certainly wasn't easy for them.
It was really scary because we didn't know how to handle it. You know, like, you have to start reading the labels on all sorts of things. Going out to eat, like, we just kind of stopped going out to eat at all, just because we didn't know if he could smell the peanuts, if it was like on a surface, like if he would react, we just didn't know. So we pretty much put our life on hold when feeding him, and we only did cooking our own food.
Northington created an Instagram page called Food Harrison Eats, showing how she meal preps different foods while avoiding certain allergens.
We do it on a Sunday because we're both home. So then throughout the week at night, I just make his lunches for the previous day or the next day and just everything ready. But having it ready in the fridge is easy. It was a lot at the beginning, but now it's not bad because we're used to it.
And for parents or anyone dealing with multiple food allergies, Northington says finding a community that supports you is essential.
The first thing I did is go on Instagram and find people that are really outspoken about food allergies, and that made me not feel as alone, I guess. But then just keep pushing through. I mean, having that community really, really helped me, just to know that, okay, some people do have it worse than we do. We were really lucky that he did outgrow them.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News.